Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's MLB, soccer, FIBA, and WNBA. Look at everything going on today. We have the U.S. Open, inside linebacker rankings, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday, look ahead to the slate for today, and I assume there's a few matinee games today. Yankees over the Tigers 4-2 as they win their first series in 6 tries. Phillies over the Angels 12-7. Rays over the Marlins 11-2. O's over the White Sox 9-3. Nats over the Blue Jays 5-4. Astros over the Red Sox 6-2. Rangers over the Mets 2-1. Guardians over the Twins 4-2. Cardinals over the Padres 6-5-10 on a walk-off single by Tommy Edman. Cubs over the Brewers 1-0. That was a big win for the Cubs. Pirates over the Royals 6-3. Braves over the Rockies 3-1. A's over the Mariners 3-1, so best bet was a loser. Giants over the Reds 6-1. Dodgers over the Diamondbacks 9-1. And the other option I would have considered for best bet would have been a loser too. All right, today's games, 1 o'clock, you have the Angels at the Phillies. Reed Detmers and Chris Sanchez. Are the Phillies doing a 6-man rotation? Or somebody injured right now? Because I know they have 6 starters. So, yeah. Just, hang on one second, guys. So, the Phils are minus 178. The Angels are plus 150. Over under 9. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 140. Phils minus 1.5 plus 116. I like full game under. Next, White Sox O's. Dylan Cease and Kyle Gibson. O's minus 188. White Sox plus 158. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 136. O's minus 1.5 is plus 105. The over is overjuiced. So for this one, I am... Ooh, that's a very, very difficult one. I'm going to do the Orioles on the run line, minus 1.5 at plus 112. Ballsy pick, but that's where I'm going to go. Guardians Twins, Tanner Bibbe and Sonny Gray. And Bibbe is all of a sudden in play for AL Rookie of the Year. Twins minus 162, Guardians plus 136, over under 7.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 152. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 126. I like full game under even money. 215 Padres Cardinals. Rich Hill, Miles Mikolas. It's a pick 'em, minus 108 each way. Over under 9. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 150. Cards plus 1.5 is minus 182. I'm going to do, that's a hard one. Just pick the winner straight up. Cardinals. Don't feel good about it, though. Brewers Cubs at 220. Brandon Woodruff and Kyle Hendricks. This is for the series win. Brewers minus 120. Cubs plus 102. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 146. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 176. That is extremely low for a total. But I like the Cubs at plus 102 to win. Kyle Hendricks is pitching well lately for Chicago. 3 o'clock, Nats Jays. Patrick Corbin, Chris Bassett. Blue Jays minus 245. Nats 2-1. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 110. So it's the Blue Jays minus 1.5. Patrick Corbin's actually pitching a lot better in the second half of the year than the first half of the year. I think that's a candidate to get claimed off of waivers by somebody before Thursday. I like the over, though. Reds Giants 345. Hunter Green and Logan Webb. This was after the Giants were a strike away from a no-hitter by Alex Cobb. Giants minus 172. Reds plus 144. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 160. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 132. I like the over full game. 4 o'clock, Astros, Red Sox. Framber Valdez, Cutter Crawford. Astros minus 138. Red Sox plus 118. Over-unders 10. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 115. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 138. This is a hard one. I'm going to go full game under again. I just think 10's high. A's Mariners. Zach Neal, Bryce Miller. Mariners minus 295. A's plus 240. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. A's plus 1.5 is plus 115. Mariners minus 1.5 is minus 138. I like full game under. Even though the A's pitcher stinks. 6:30 Yanks Tigers. Garrett Cole TBD. So this is actually for the series win for the Yankees. I lied. They avoided their 7th consecutive series loss. I didn't realize this was a 4-game set rather than a 3-game set, which it traditionally is. Yanks minus 240, Tigers plus 194, over under 7.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Yanks minus 1.5 is minus 3, Tigers plus 1.5 is plus 108. I like under 7.5 even money. Garrett Cole is going to pitch lights out tonight. Rays Marlins, Zach Eflin and Jesus Luzardo. Rays minus 126, Marlins plus 108, over under 7.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Marlins minus 1.5, or I'm sorry, Rays minus 1.5 is plus 40, Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 70. I like full game over. Rangers Mets, that's an early time for Citi Field. Dane Dunning and Denyi Reyes. Rangers minus 156, Mets plus 132, over under 9.5, overs minus 102, and there's minus 120. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 105, Mets plus 1.5 is minus 126, so Scherzer doesn't pitch in the series. I like full game over in that one. Reyes is unknown. 8 o'clock, Pirates Royals. Andre Jackson and Angel Zerpa. Pirates minus 112, Royals minus 104 under 9, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Pirates minus 1.5 is plus 146, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 176, like full game over. Although the Pirates are way better than the Royals. 8:30 Braves Rockies, Darius Vines and Kyle Freeland. Braves minus 240, Rockies plus 194, over under 13.5. That's the highest total I've ever seen, other than that game that was in Mexico earlier in the year. That was like 19.5. Minus 100 each way. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 164. Rockies plus 1.5 is plus 136. That is like an auto under. So last night it was 3-1. Monday night was 14-4. So Monday night, the Braves did that total by themselves. Oh my God, it's 13.5, ridiculously high. And last but not least, D-backs Dodgers at 10 o'clock. Brandon Effat and Ryan Papuai. Dodgers minus 178, D-backs plus 150, over under 9.5, minus 10 each way. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 137. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 114. I like the over in that game as well. All right, now move on to soccer. We will go over results of note, and we'll look ahead to a busy soccer day today. All right, Saudi Pro League from yesterday. Al Tawoon over Al Ukdud 1-0. Tamak and Al Fateh 2-2 draw. Al Ali over Al Tai 2-0. Al Khalij and Al Hazim 1-1 draw. And Al Nasir over Al Shabab 4-0. Liga MX has games tonight. Oh, I know what we had yesterday that we have to talk about. Carabao Cup. All right, so Bournemouth over Swansea 3-2. Bradford Wrexham 1-1 draw. Bradford City advances 4-3 on penalties. Cardiff over Birmingham 3-1. Leicester over Tranmere 2-0. Wolves over Blackpool 5-0. Stoke over Rotherham 6-1. Sheffield Wednesday Mansfield 1-1 draw. Mansfield advances 5-4 on penalties. Portsmouth Peterborough 1-1 draw. Peterborough advances 5-4 on penalties. Port Vale Crewe 0-0 draw. Port Vale advances 2-0 on penalties. Crystal Palace over Plymouth 4-2. Sutton United over Wycombe 1-0. Newport, Brentford, 1-1 draw. Brentford advances 3-0 on penalties. Luton over Gillingham, 3-2. Fulham, Tottenham, 1-1 draw. Fulham advances 5-3 on penalties. Exeter, Stevenage, 1-1 draw. Exeter advances 5-3 on penalties. Norwich City over Bristol City, 1-0. Borough over Bolton, 3-1. Salford City Leeds, 1-1 draw. Salford advances 9-8 on penalties. Reading, Ipswich, 2-2 draw. Ipswich advances 3-1 on penalties. And then we have 5 second-round games today, but we're going to pick them this time because we have time. 2:45, Nottingham Forest and Burnley. So, I'm going to pull it up really quickly. All right, this isn't. Oh, wait. Yes, it is. Nottingham plus 110, Burnley plus 220, draw plus 250. I'm going to go Nottingham plus 110. Sheffield United and Lincoln City. Sheffield minus 240, Lincoln plus 550, draw plus 370. The picks are going to be over 3.5 goals plus 148. Harrogate and Blackburn. Blackburn minus 160, Harrogate plus 370, draws 3-1. For this one, we're going to do under 2.5 goals at plus 108. Chelsea, Wimbledon. Chelsea minus 1150, Wimbledon 22-1, draw plus 950. Chelsea is going to run away and hide. Over 4.5 goals plus 182. And then 3 o'clock, Doncaster and Everton. Everton minus 360, Doncaster 8-1, the draws plus 450. I like over 3.5 goals at plus 150. And then Champions League qualifying. Young Boys over Maccabi Haifa 3-0. They advanced 3-0 on aggregate. Galatasaray over Molde 2-1. Galatasaray advances 5-3 on aggregate. And Braga over Panathinaikos 1-0. And Braga advances 3-1 on aggregate. 3 more games today, 3 o'clock, second leg. AEK Athens and Antwerp. Antwerp leads 1-0 on aggregate. I'm just going to pull up the games. They're at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Athens minus 150, Antwerp plus 390, draw plus 250. I'm going to do over 2.5 goals at minus 116. PSV and Rangers, they're tied on aggregate. PSV minus 270, Rangers plus 470, draw plus 340. Go over 3.5 goals plus 122. And last but not least, Copenhagen and Rakow. Copenhagen leads 1-0 on aggregate. They're minus 155. Rakow plus 390. The draws plus 270. For this one, I'm going to do under 2.5 goals at minus 116. All right, we'll do Liga MX and we'll save MLS for last. So tonight, 9 o'clock, you have Toluca and Monterrey. Toluca plus 135, Monterrey plus 175, the draws plus 250. Monterrey's in 8th, Toluca is in 12th. I think Monterrey's better. I'm going to take him at plus 175. Next, Querétaro and Atlas. Querétaro is 2-1, Atlas plus 140. The draw's 2-1 also. I'm surprised Querétaro is a dog to Atlas. I'm taking him at 2-1. And 11 o'clock, Tigres and Santos Laguna. Tigres minus 150, Santos plus 380, draw plus 290. For this one, we're going to do under 2.5 goals at plus 102. I'm quickly going to see if USL has games tonight. They do. 8 o'clock, you have Rio Grande and San Antonio. San Antonio plus 110, Rio Grande 2-1 draw plus 240. We'll go San Antonio plus 110. 9 o'clock, New Mexico, Vegas. New Mexico minus 135, Vegas plus 280, draw plus 290. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 126. And 10:30, Phoenix, Sacramento. They're each plus 150. The draws plus 230. I'm going to go with Phoenix at home plus 150. None in women's tonight. MLS is a monster, so it looks like everybody's playing. 7:30 of Atlanta and Cincinnati. Atlanta's minus 115, Cincy's plus 250, draw plus 280. Why is Cincinnati that big of an underdog? They are on the road, and they've been the best team in the league all season long, and Atlanta is in 6th. I love Cincinnati as a big dog tonight, plus 250. Like, why are they that big of an underdog? They've been the better team all year. Charlotte, Orlando. Charlotte plus 130, Orlando plus 185, draw plus 250. Both of these teams have been hot of late. Orlando's in 4th. Charlotte had the good Leagues Cup tournament, so they've been hot. I'm going to take Charlotte plus 130 at home. Miami, Nashville. Miami minus 195, Nashville plus 480, draw plus 330. Miami's just red hot because of Messi. I'm going to do over 3.5 goals at plus 162. New England against the Red Bulls. New England plus 140, Red Bulls plus 185, draw plus 230. New England's had a good season this year. They're tied for 2nd in the conference with Philly and Orlando right now. Red Bulls are 9 back of the postseason. I really think that New England's going to win at plus 140. NYCFC and CF Montreal from Yankee Stadium. Hang on, they just went away. Here we go. NYCFC minus 130, Montreal plus 340, draw plus 250. I'm going to go to draw plus 250. Toronto, Philly. Toronto plus 240, draw plus 270, Phillies minus 105. I like the Union at minus 105. That's a steal. They're hot right now. They had that one bad game against Messi in Miami in the Leagues Cup, but everybody got destroyed by Messi in the Leagues Cup. And Toronto's in last. And Philly, I just think, is a team on the mission come this fall. So I'm going to take them at minus 105. When are you ever going to get the Union at that number against a bad team? 8:30 Austin, Seattle. Austin plus 105, Seattle plus 10, draw plus 260. Austin's in 9th. Seattle's in 3rd. But Austin is only 2 back of the playoffs. I'm going to go Seattle plus 210. That's a nice underdog. Chicago, Vancouver. Chicago minus or plus 130, Vancouver plus 180, draw plus 250. The Fire are in 9th in the East. 6 back of Nashville for the last playoff spot, and Vancouver's in the last playoff spot in the West. I think Vancouver's been the better team all season. Give me the Vancouver Whitecaps at plus 180. Houston, Columbus. Some interesting matchups here today. Houston plus 105, Columbus plus 210, draw plus 270. The Crew right now are 5th in the East, but 1 back of the Revolution, the Union in Orlando for 2nd, which is weird. So the East is a little bit of a mess right now at the top other than Cincinnati. And then Houston right now is 5th but they're 2 back of 3rd. So the theme of this segment for the MLS is picking the better teams. Columbus has been better than Houston this year. Give me the Crew plus 210. Minnesota, Colorado. Minnesota minus 145, Colorado plus 340. The draw is 3-1. Colorado is one of the worst teams in the league this year. They're in last, and then Minnesota's in 10th, but they are 2 back of Vancouver for the last playoff spot in the West. Minnesota needs the game. They know it. I'm going to say over 3.5 goals plus 148. St. Louis, Dallas. St. Louis minus 120, Dallas 3-1, draw plus 260. St. Louis is in an interesting spot. They did not have a good Leagues Cup. They're still in first, though. Dallas is in 8th, but 1 point back with 7th. I like under 2.5 goals at plus 108. 10:30, Portland, Salt Lake. Portland plus 110, Salt Lake plus 210, draw plus 270. Salt Lake's in 4th. Portland's at the bottom in 12th, but they are 8 back of Vancouver. I don't know why the Timbers are that big of a favorite. Give me the Salt Lake at plus 210. And last but not least in MLS, San Jose and the Galaxy. San Jose plus 105, the Galaxy plus 230, draw plus 250. I'm probably going to continue my theme of picking all the underdogs. The Galaxy are at the bottom of the league this year. They're 9 back of the playoffs. I didn't realize how far back they were. San Jose's right there in the 6th spot. So I'm going to take San Jose plus 105. I didn't realize how bad the Galaxy have been this year. And that's a team I usually give the benefit of the doubt to. All right, now move on to FIBA. That was a lot of soccer today. We'll go over the results from yesterday and this morning and look ahead to everything tomorrow. Actually, we don't have anything tomorrow. That's my mistake. All right, so Group E yesterday. Germany over Finland, 101-75. Group A, DR over Angola, 75-67. Group D, Egypt over Mexico, 172. Group H, France over Lebanon, 85-79. Group E, Australia over Japan, 109-89. Group A, Italy over Philippines, 90-83. Group D, Lithuania over Montenegro, 91-71. Group H, Canada over Latvia, 101-75. And then Group F, Georgia over Venezuela, 70-59. This is this morning. Serbia over South Sudan, 115-83. Group C, U.S. over Jordan, 110-62. Group G, Brazil over Ivory Coast, 89-77. Group F, Slovenia over Cape Verde, 92-77. Group B, Puerto Rico over China, 107-89. And Group C, Greece over New Zealand, 83-74. Group G, Spain has a lead over Iran with the game almost being over. So FIBA will return for the second round, it looks like tomorrow. But it looks like we do not have the time set up yet. I'm just going to do a quick double check here. So it looks like tomorrow. So second round looks like it'll start Friday. All right, so it looks like we have tomorrow Angola and China. I think Angola should win that game in Group M. And South Sudan and the Philippines. And I think that's going to be South Sudan's game. Group N tomorrow, New Zealand, Mexico. New Zealand's better. They should win that game. And Egypt, Jordan. Egypt's going to win. Jordan's not a good team. Group O, Japan, Venezuela. That's a good one. I don't know who wins that game. Japan versus Venezuela. I'm going to say Venezuela. And then Cape Verde against Finland. Cape Verde is just better. Group P, Ivory Coast and Lebanon. We'll go with Ivory Coast there. And in France, Iran. I think France will finally wake up a little bit in the classification round there. All right, now move on to the WNBA. We have games to go over from yesterday, but if I'm not mistaken, there are no games today. No, there's not. All right, so results from yesterday. The Dream over the Mercury, 94-76. The Dreamer is 17-19. Phoenix is 9-26. Mystics over the Lynx, 83-72. The Mystics, 17-18. Minnesota, 17-19. And Della Dawn is back for Washington, so that's why the point spreads are juiced for them now. And the Sky over the Sparks, 76-75. The Sky are 15-21, and the Sparks are 15-20. And then we have 3 games on Thursday night. We'll pick them on the show tomorrow. All right, now move on to tennis. We have results to go over from yesterday, and we have the second round starting in just a couple of moments. All right, so men's results from yesterday. One seed Carlos Alcaraz over Dominic Kofer in 2 sets and a walkover. 6 seed Jannik Sinner over Yannick Hoffman in 3 sets. Gail Monfils over Taro Daniel in 4 sets. Lloyd Harris over Grado Pela in 3 sets. 30 seed Thomas Echeverry over Otto Virtanen in 5 sets. Stan Wawrinka over Yoshihito Nishioka in 3 sets. 17 seed Hubert Hurkacz over Mark Husler in 5 sets. Yibing Wu over Dusan Lajovic in 5 sets. Lorenzo Sonego over Nicholas Moreno de Alboron in 3 sets. 2016 Dan Evans over Daniel Galan in 3 sets. 13 Alex Demeanor over Timothy Skatov in 4 sets. Botic van de Zandschulp over Jordan Thompson in 1 set and a walkover. Jack Draper over Radu Alba in 3 sets. John Isner over Facundo Diaz Acosta in 3 sets. 8 seed Andrei Rublev over Arthur Kazooks in 3 sets. Sebastian Baez over 2017 Borna Koric in 3 sets. Andy Murray over Corentin Motet in 3 sets. Yu Hasu over Thanasi Kakanakis in 4 sets. 19 seed Grigor Dimitrov over Alex Mokon in 5 sets. 16 seed Cam Norrie over Alexander Shevchenko in 3 sets. Daniel Altmaier over Constant Lestienne in 4 sets. Alex Michelson over Albert Ramos Vinolas in 3 sets. Michael Amo upsets 11 seed Karen Kaknavab in 3 sets. 3 seed Daniil Medvedev over Attila Balzas in 3 sets. Arthur Rinderknech over Diego Schwartzman in 3 sets. 12 seed Alexander Zverev over Alexander Vucic in 3 sets. 23 seed Nicholas Jarry over Luca Van Esch in 4 sets. Matteo Arnaldi over Jason Kubler in 2 sets and a walkover. Chris O'Connell over Max Purcell in 4 sets. Felipe Alves over James Duckworth in 4 sets. Arthur Fils over 24 seed Telon Griekspoor in 5 sets. Matteo Berrettini over 29 seed Hugo Humbert in 3 sets. Emil Rusevori and 18 Andrei Rublev canceled, as was Kenish Yorkie and Felipe Alves. All right, second round begins today, 11 o'clock. You have Mackenzie McDonald and Borna Gojo. 17 Stefano Tsitsipas and Dominic Stryker. 12-15 Jerry Vesely and 20 seed Francisco Cerundolo. 32 seed Laszlo Dejer and Hugo Gaston. Benjamin Bonzi, 2018 Chris Eubanks. 12-20 Aslan Karastev and Roberto Guiaspena. 115 Bernabe Zapata Morales and 2 seed Novak Djokovic. 130, Dominic Time and Ben Shelton. 215, 22 seed Adrian Manarino and Fabian Morozon. 1 Cerundolo and 21 seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. 14 seed Tommy Paul and Roman Safulin. 220, Rinky Hijikata and Martin Fuskevitz. 250, Tituan Droget and Jacob Mensik. 5 o'clock, 5 seed Casper Ruud and Zizhen Zhang. 7 o'clock, Sebastian Ofner and 10 seed Francis Tiafoe. And 8:15, Juan Varela and 9 seed Taylor Fritz. All right, the women's results from yesterday, and then we'll look ahead to today. 2 seed Arena Sablenka over Marina Zaveska in 2 sets. Sofia Kenin over Anna Bogdan in 2 sets. Lucia Bronzetti upsets 12 seed Barbara Krejcikova in 2 sets. 23 seed Quinn Zhang over Nadia Podoroska in 2 sets. Jody Barrage over Anna Blikova in 2 sets. Great Minin over Venus Williams in 2 sets, and it was a wipeout. Poor Venus. Kaya Kanepi over Barbora Strykova in 2 sets. Eva Lies over Robin Montgomery in 2 sets. Sasha Vickery upsets 21 seed Donna Vedchik in 3 sets. Anastasia Pavlyuchova over Fiona Crawley in 2 sets. 29 seed Carolina Pliskova over Elena Rus in 2 sets. Clara Tauson upsets 27 seed Anastasia Potapova in 2 sets. Lizia Sarenko over Elsa Giacomo in 3 sets. 2016 Alina Svitolina over Anna Friedsam in 2 sets. 13 seed Daria Kasakina over Alicia Parks in 2 sets. Peyton Stearns over Victoria Tomova in 2 sets. Clara Burrell over Caroline Dolid in 2 sets. Patricia Teague over Rebecca Marino in 2 sets. Yanina Wickmeyer over Vera Zvorareva in 2 sets. 3 seed Jessica Pegula over Camila Giorgi in 2 sets. Yifan Wang upset 7 seed Caroline Garcia in 2 sets. 9 seed Marketa Vondrousova over Nanlai Han in 2 sets. Petra Martic over Tatjana Maria in 2 sets. 17 seed Madison Keys over Arantaxa Rus in 2 sets. Martina Trevisan over Yulia Putintseva in 3 sets. Linda Noskova over Madison Brangle in 2 sets. 5 seed Ons Jabeur over Camila Osorio in 2 sets. 14 seed Lumila Samsonova over Claire Liu in 2 sets. 31 seed Marie Buskova over Ashlyn Kruger in 2 sets. Katie Bolter over Diane Parry in 2 sets. Tamara Korpach over Arina Begu in 2 sets. 22 seed Ekaterina Alexandrova over Leila Annie Fernandez in 2 sets. And then today, beginning right now at 11 o'clock, Taylor Townsend and 19 seed Beatrice Haddad Maya. Lauren Davis and Kaja Juvan. 32 seed Lise Mertens and Danielle Collins. Yuriko Maizaki and 15 seed Belinda Bencic. This is second round, by the way. 12 o'clock, Mira Andreeva and 6 seed Coco Gauff. 12:15, 1 seed Iga Swiatek and Daria Savali. 12:20, Staros Abrias Tormo and Xinyu Wang. Anna Carolina Schmidlova and Rebecca Masarova. 1 o'clock, 10 seed Carolina Muchova and Magdalena Frech. 18 seed Victoria Azarenka in Lin Zhu. 1:35, Zhu Wang and Bernarda Pera. 2:15, Anna Kanzaya and 30 seed Sarana Sarista. 4:15, 20 seed Jelena Ostapenko and Elena Avansayan. 6 o'clock, Jennifer Brady and 24 seed Magda Lynette. 7 o'clock, 7 seed Elena Rabakina and Alja Tomjovic. And last but not least, 9 o'clock, 11 seed Petra Kvitova and Caroline Wozniacki. Alrighty, now we'll do the inside linebacker rankings. Yesterday we did outside linebackers and defensive ends. Mondays was defensive tackles. So this is going to be a really, really fun football season and rankings shows as ranking segments, which we've been doing for the past 2 weeks now. So without further ado, here are my inside linebacker rankings for this season. 46, Christian Roseboom, Rams. 45, Micah McFadden, Giants. 44, Troy Anderson, Falcons. 43, Chris Barnes, Cardinals. 42, Kenneth Murray Jr., Cardinals. 41, Jordan Brooks, Seahawks. 40, Jack Campbell, Lions. 39, Elandon Roberts, Steelers. 38, Divine Diablo, Raiders. 37, Faisadi Olokun, Jaguars. 36, Quay Walker, Packers. 35, Devin Lloyd, Jaguars. 34, Devin White, Buccaneers. 33, Brian Asamoah II, Vikings. 32, Terrell Bernard, Bills. 31, Aziz Al-Shair, Titans. 30, Ernest Jones, Rams. 29, Cody Barton, Commanders. 28, David Long Jr., Dolphins. 27, Kaiser White, Cardinals. 26, Josie Jewell, Broncos. 25, Jordan Hicks, Vikings. 24, C.J. Mosley, Jets. 23, Jawan Bentley, Patriots. 22, Cole Holcomb, Steelers. 21, Caden Ellis, Falcons. 20, Frankie Louvu, Panthers. 19, Bobby Okereke, Giants. 18, Leighton Vander Esch, Cowboys. 17, Nakobe Dean, Eagles. 16, Shaq Thompson, Panthers. 15, Eric Kendricks, Chargers. 14, Logan Smith, Bengals. 13, Anthony Walker, Browns. 12, Alex Singleton, Broncos. 11, Devondre Campbell, Packers. 10, Nick Bolton, Chiefs. 9, Jerome Baker, Dolphins. 8, Roquan Smith, Ravens. 7, Denzel Perryman, Texans. 6, Shaquille Leonard, Colts. 5, Tremaine Edmonds, Bears. 4, Fred Warner, 49ers. 3, Demario Davis, Saints. 2, Levante David, Buccaneers. And number 1, Bobby Wagner, Seattle Seahawks. Number 1 for the inside linebacker spot, you could argue anywhere from Bobby Wagner, Levante Davis, Demario Davis, and Fred Warner. Bobby Wagner has the winning pedigree. Him on that Seahawks team that overachieved a year ago, and really, I think, is a leader on that defense, and he hasn't slowed down one bit. Levante David, you would think, would have slowed down by now, but he clearly hasn't. Demario Davis is the most underrated at this position in this entire league, in my opinion. Fred Warner might be in the top 2 in next year's list. He's so good. But you can even argue number 1 for him this year. Tremaine Edmonds got the big free agent deal with the Bears. He has something to prove. Shaq Leonard's been injured a lot. He has a lot to prove. Denzel Perryman on a new team. Roquan Smith in a better situation. Jerome Baker, underrated player. Nick Bolton was a part of the Super Bowl champ. So inside linebacker as a whole, I think, is weak. But the top 4 is top heavy. And then there's a lot of solid guys. Even Leighton Vander Esch at 18 is someone that I had higher on this list in years past. But he's taken a dip a little bit. Bobby Okereke was a nice free agent pickup by the Giants. So it's a weak position, but it's not an awful position either. All right, now move on to the news and notes for today. We're going to start with something that's not sports, and it is Hurricane Idalia, which has made a big landfall along the Gulf Coast of Florida. Major Category 3 storm. And it was reported last night that it's going to be Category 4. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in the state of Florida. Just an awful situation. And this obviously is going to have an impact on some sporting events this week too. And this storm is projected to go into the Savannah, Georgia area, up to like Charleston, South Carolina, and the Myrtle Beach area, and then into Wilmington, North Carolina, and then back out to the Atlantic towards Bermuda. So thoughts and prayers to everybody in Florida and then everyone that's supposed to get the storm in Georgia, South Carolina, and even a little bit of North Carolina too. So that is a big story that we had to kick off the news and notes segment with, because it is the biggest story right now. All right. Let's start with football. So the Packers tried to trade for Jonathan Taylor, as the Packers had legitimate interest in acquiring Jonathan Taylor before Tuesday's deadline to get him. That would have been crazy. Him, A.J. Dillon, and Aaron Jones, I guess A.J. Dillon would have went in the trade, but that would have been crazy. The Vikings are releasing Jalen Reagor as he'll hit waivers despite trade interest. I wonder who will pick him up. I would like to see Jalen Reagor on a team like Houston or Tennessee. Teams that I think could use somebody like that. Take a chance. The Patriots want to bring back Bailey Zappi if he clears waivers. The Chiefs put Chris Jones on the reserve list and did not report amid contract holdout. That's not great for the Chiefs, especially after the Super Bowl run that they had. They really shouldn't be dealing with this crap. Christian Wilkins and the Dolphins did not agree to a deal. As team was not agreeable to the guarantee structure of the contract proposal. So it looks like he's going to come back and play, which is good. So the Patriots cut both backup quarterbacks. They cut Zappy and Malik Cunningham as Mac Jones is the lone quarterback on the roster. So I know there was a report that said that they want Zappy back, but they need a backup quarterback. And maybe they do get Zappy back. And so much for people speculating that the Patriots may use Malik Cunningham in packages. So the Eagles acquire Albert Okwuegbunam of the Broncos and the 2025 7th round pick for 2025 6th. So a lot of weird trades have been happening. 2 kickers traded. Nick Folk got dealt to the Titans, so that opens up the kicking job for the rookie in New England. And Will Lutz traded to Denver. So now the question is, what did the Saints do at kicker? And the Saints also cut former first-round pick Bradley Roby. We'll see who gets him off of waivers. A team like the Giants, I could see picking him up. They need help at corner. And they have 2 rookies slated to start at corner. And then Adoree Jackson at nickel. So Roby would be a nice fit there. Bad news for the Buffalo Bills as Von Miller will be out the first 4 games starting the season on the PUP list as he recovers from the torn ACL. Not surprising, but that's what happened. The Giants released Cole Beasley. Now he's going to be a free agent. That would be another interesting Titan. Maybe Minnesota would be interested in him. Green Bay can use like a veteran guy because they have a lot of young guys at receiver. And all their veterans went to the Jets with Rodgers, it looks like. Aaron Rodgers was mic'd up for Hard Knocks and had some words for Jihad Ward and then threw a touchdown pass, obviously to Garrett Wilson. So that must have happened in the Hard Knocks. Jerry Jeudy staying off IR as he's available to return within the first 4 games after suffering hamstring injury last week. So that's good for the Broncos. Dalvin Cook ready for week 1 as he recovers from the shoulder injury. And then we talked about the Colts not trading Jonathan Taylor after Indy could not find a fair value offer. So he'll start the season on PUP. And now the question is, does he play this season? Jimmy Garoppolo had an interesting answer when asked about the 49ers quarterback situation. He said that the Trey Lance trade was weird, which was funny. The Yankees yesterday released Josh Donaldson. That is surprising because you didn't think they were actually going to do it, and the timing of it was weird. And after reports saying that he was close to coming back, or the Yankees expect him to be back, what they're being told, and the Yankees kind of lie to them on that one. So the Yankees are doing the right thing, obviously, by doing this, because he was a terrible Yankee. He's not the best human being in the world, as we know. And the Yankees are finally taking action to their disappointing season. They got rid of Hicks before the season fell apart. And now they got rid of Donaldson. And I think that they're going to get rid of a lot of players. Perhaps have a new manager and potentially a new GM as well. So we'll see. So that's the first of many moves I expect from the Yankees. And then the weird thing was that Aaron Boone was being interviewed when the team announced the Donaldson release, which was weird. And then obviously Donaldson came out with a tweet, and everyone just not ignored it, but you're like, yeah, whatever. And this is actually would be very interesting if they were to do this. The Yankees might call up their number 2 overall prospect, Jason Dominguez. And Hal Steinbrenner is involved in discussions to do it. So if Hal's involved, it's going to happen. He's the owner of the team. Everybody knows how I feel about Hal Steinbrenner. I don't think he's a good owner. I think the only couple owners in sports that are worse than him are John Mara and Woody Johnson. I think that James Dolan surpassed him. Him and Steve Cohen, I think, are even. I think Steve Cohen deserves a ton of blame for the Mets mess this year. So Hal versus Steve Cohen's a good argument, but at least Steve Cohen did the right thing at the deadline, unlike Hal Steinbrenner, because Hal's delusional, and Steve did the right thing. That's just based on one trade deadline. Although Steve deserves a ton of blame for the Mets' big failure this season, as does Hal. So, let's see if they actually do this or not. That will get a lot of fans in the stands for sure. And I think that will just ignite the fan base a little bit, and that's what the Yanks kind of need right now. The White Sox hire likely internal, as they are expected to promote their next head of baseball ops from within. I think that's a mistake. I think the White Sox should go external. It hasn't worked, and I think it's best for them to go after somebody external like Theo Epstein or David Stearns or somebody like that. So I think the White Sox would be making a mistake here. It's kind of like if the Yankees got rid of Brian Cashman and they hired from within. It's the same thing. Hire from external if it clearly doesn't work. Bo Bichette back on the injured list with the right quad strain. That's just brutal for the Blue Jays. I think it's tempting to proclaim the AL wildcard race over, but it looks over for the Blue Jays at least. I mean, could the Red Sox get hot for the month of September and Rafael Devers puts the team on his back for a month? Maybe. Boston would need Altuve to get hurt and Verlander to get hurt, or somebody major on Texas getting hurt or something like that. Michael Brantley back in the Astros lineup for the first time since June 2022 after shoulder surgery. Michael Brantley, I feel bad. That guy's always hurt, but when he was healthy, he's always impactful. I just don't think he's an impact player anymore. So we'll see how that works out. We talked about the Reds, who were almost no hit last night. So Austin Slater made a great catch to save the no-no in the 8th. And then Alex Cobb lost a no-hitter with a 2-out double just over the fielder's glove. So how about this? The Angels are blowing it up on waivers. Lucas Giolito, Hunter Renfroe, Randall Grichuk, Matt Moore, Reynaldo Lopez can be claimed by teams Thursday. Insane. The Angels definitely admitted defeat on those trades. That was a terrible trade for Giolito. I said it at the time they did it. And they're admitting defeat now. And that's a really bad look for an Angels team that is under the most pressure of all teams this offseason to keep the best player in baseball there. And if they made a huge mistake in not trading Ohtani at the deadline, whether that was last year or this year, and I think he would have had a ton of value this year. I mean, maybe that's who the Yankees were eyeing all along, and Brian Cashman's like Ohtani or bust. But it wasn't reported or something like that. And same for Steve Cohen, and then Steve Cohen decided to sell, which the Mets obviously, like I said, did the right thing. Or anybody, really, for that matter. But that is just a disaster for the Angels that they're about to waive a guy who they gave up the whole farm for in Giolito. And other players on waivers, the Yankees, Harrison Bader, the Mets, Carlos Carrasco, and the White Sox is Mike Clevinger. I think Clevinger would have a big impact in the pennant race the most. I think Harrison Bader is overrated. Carlos Carrasco, I think, is overrated too. And I feel bad saying that because of what he went through in his personal life. But he's just not good anymore. And Harrison Bader, I think it's fair to say that the Yankees misevaluated him and Jordan Montgomery at this point. And maybe they could have dealt Jordan Montgomery for something else. Because Jordan Montgomery, I feel like they traded him because they had a couple bad starts against good teams last year, and they realized he wasn't built for the postseason. I think this postseason is going to be telling, and if he's bad in the playoffs for the Rangers, then you just say the Yankees just traded Jordan Montgomery for the wrong player. That's how I look at it, is they traded him for the wrong player. And Harrison Bader's an injury-prone player who's has speed and defense and doesn't really hit. But we'll see if somebody picks him up. But yeah, I like Mike Clevinger for somebody. I think the Rays should pick up Mike Clevinger personally. I think he would be excellent on Tampa Bay. I think the Orioles would be interesting for Mike Clevinger. The Red Sox would be great. The Blue Jays are set in their rotation. So those three AL East teams I mentioned, I think should go after Clevinger. Red Sox, Orioles, Rays. And anybody in the National League, the Reds, the Diamondbacks, maybe the Dodgers now that Gonsolin's hurt. But I think they have the depth to overcome it. But there's a couple that stand out to me. Maybe even Houston. Who knows? So keep an eye out for Clevinger. Maybe the Cubs. There's a lot of teams that Clevinger can help. And then Bader, I really don't know if he'll get picked up. Maybe the Marlins. Maybe the Cubs. We'll see about Bader. And then, to me, Carrasco is the least likely player to get picked up. And I think the most likely players to get picked up are either Giolito, based on his reputation and being a Cy Young candidate in the past, and Clevinger, who's been really good for the White Sox this year. The MLB Players Association are reviewing some things. The gunshots at Friday's White Sox game and fans rushing Ronald Acuna on Monday. And then 2 men were charged with trespassing and disturbing the peace after running on the field and making contact with Ronald Acuna, which is insane. We'll see what happens with those 2 situations. College football stuff we didn't talk about when we talked about the NFL, but so college football games will now be in theaters as ESPN agrees to put ACC football games and New Year's Six bowl games in the movies this season. That's crazy. Isn't that insane? College football in the movies. I think that that will be a hit. Deion Sanders chose football over toe as he decided to amputate 2 of his toes rather than miss additional Jackson State games. Half of the University of San Diego's football team will be disciplined after alleged preseason hazing incident. Yikes. I think that may result in their coach being fired. So A college football quarterback's underwear NIL deal. General Booty launches underwear and sock collection in new video. So he's the backup at Oklahoma. Soccer news on Megan Rapinoe's final game will be against South Africa in Chicago on September 24th. So that's going to be an emotional game for the women's national team. Anthony Edwards is confident in Team USA, so he's not really worried about facing Lithuania and Montenegro in the second round, and I wouldn't be either. Sacramento Kings interested in JaVale McGee after being waived by the Mavs, so that's interesting. John Calipari critiques the transfer portal as he compares transfer portal to one and done and says it also leaves players without scholarships. He has a point. There was a bettor that was one leg away from $40,000, and he had the Tigers money line at under 8.5 parlay. He should have cashed out at the $11,000. He should have cashed out. He hit everything else except that because the Yankees pitching decided to show up. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There was one that jumped out at me. Going right to it. It's a total. It's a very, very high total. I'm laying a quarter unit on it. It's the Braves and the Rockies. They combined for a grand total of 4 runs last night. And now the total is 13.5. What does that tell me? Bet the under. That's way too high. So I'm going under 13.5, a quarter unit, minus 110, under 13.5 between the Rockies and the Braves for my best bet of the day. Okay, that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. We'll get to everything tomorrow. We have the start of college football week 1 tomorrow, so we'll have picks for you, which is going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that. And then I have the cornerback rankings as well, which is going to be a loaded list because we include the nickelbacks in the cornerback rankings too. So I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.